It really has been a very tough time for the royal family.
King Charles breaking his silence.
I wanted to ask you a few questions about why did you decide to write about that subject?
For years, the world believed Queen Camilla's story was complete. A tale of survival, power, and quiet triumph. But behind every crown lies a secret, and this one has finally escaped. Her own sister, Annabelle Elliot, the silent shadow in Camilla's rise, has broken her vow, and what she whispered has stunned royal insiders and rocked Buckingham Palace to its core.
The royal rumor mill is buzzing.
This is not gossip. This is family truth, and it may destroy the Queen Consort's carefully built image forever.
The new king's darling wife has become the Queen Consort.
The silence finally breaks. For decades, the British royal family had its secrets safely locked behind palace doors. But no one ever imagined that the first real crack would come from inside, from Queen Camilla's own sister. Annabelle Elliot, the quiet, private woman the public never noticed, has broken her silence. And what she revealed has thrown the entire monarchy into shock. The betrayal is not from enemies, not from tabloids, but from family. Annabelle was never seen as a threat. She stayed away from cameras, from newspapers, from gossip. While Camilla fought her way into royal favor, Annabelle designed homes and stayed out of trouble. But hidden in her silence were stories no outsider could guess. Stories of what really happened between Camilla, Charles, Diana, and the royal court. Stories that Annabelle now cannot keep to herself. Her quiet whispers have now become public thunder. What did Annabelle say that made palace aides panic? Why has Queen Camilla been seen furious and distressed? The world leans closer, waiting for the details to spill. Insiders claim that Annabelle's words are more than family complaints. They are confessions that could damage Camilla's carefully built royal image. And if true, they threaten the very trust the monarchy has worked so hard to rebuild after decades of scandal and tragedy.
Queen Camilla sharing the secret to her and King Charles III's 20-year marriage.
The forgotten sister steps forward. For years, no one bothered to watch Annabelle Elliot. She was simply the Queen's sister, quiet, polite, irrelevant to royal affairs. But now, this forgotten sister has become the palace's biggest problem. Her sudden whispered words have sparked a fire that Buckingham cannot contain. Annabelle was not born into ordinary life. She and Camilla Shand shared a privileged childhood. Horses, grand estates, dinner parties with earls and counts. But where Camilla craved attention, Annabelle craved calm. She avoided the dangerous royal games her sister played. She chose design, family, and peace. But being this close to power meant Annabelle saw everything. She saw her sister's ambition grow sharper, her influence over Charles deepen. She heard the private laughter after cruel victories. She knew what happened behind palace walls when cameras turned away. And she remembered the pain of a young Princess Diana, left alone, broken, while the royal family watched in silence. Now Annabelle can no longer keep quiet. Her words have reached royal ears, and they carry the weight of decades. What else does she know? What else has she kept hidden until now? The dangerous confession. The world gasped when whispers leaked from a private country dinner. Annabelle had finally spoken. Camilla isn't who the world believes she is, she allegedly said. The room froze, and so did the royal palace, because this wasn't a reporter's gossip. It was the Queen's own sister speaking. Annabelle's words were quiet, tired, full of old pain. She wasn't cruel, just truthful. She's changed, Annabelle continued softly. Or maybe, she suggested, Camilla had always been this way, hiding it behind her smile. The guests sat in stunned silence. This was no harmless complaint. It was a direct blow to the Queen Consort's honor. Royal insiders confirmed that when this conversation reached palace officials, panic swept through Buckingham. Camilla was said to be furious, betrayed by the sister she trusted most. but the damage was done. Once Annabelle's truth slipped out, the court could not silence it. What else did Annabelle reveal that night? Some say she hinted at Camilla's obsession with power.
Well, she's the self-confessed biohacker and wellness queen, giving controversial advice to her followers.
Her private fights to secure titles for her own family. The truth, they fear, may be far darker than anyone imagined. The childhood shadows. Long before the crown and scandals, they were just sisters, Camilla and Annabelle Shand, born into privilege, taught to smile, taught to obey. But even in those early years, there was distance. Camilla was wild, charming, always seeking attention. Annabelle was quiet, thoughtful, invisible. Their family mansion echoed with quiet rules. Their father, a strict army officer. Their mother, a noble woman of old ways. Camilla learned to break the rules with charm. Annabelle learned to observe without speaking, and what she saw left deep scars. Even as teenagers, Camilla manipulated, laughed, controlled. Annabelle stayed in the background, watching everything. When Camilla's path crossed with Prince Charles, Annabelle saw the danger. She watched the secret meetings, the whispered plans. She saw the tragedy that followed, Diana's tears, the palace lies, the public betrayal. And she said nothing. Silence kept the family safe. But now, after years of guilt, that silence is broken. Annabelle's memories, once locked away, have escaped, and the monarchy may pay the price. The ghost of Diana. In hushed tones, Annabelle spoke the name that no one in the palace wanted to hear. Diana. The late princess's shadow still looms large.
Diana, Princess of Wales, has in fact been killed in that car accident.
In the public's heart, in the palace halls, and now, through Annabelle's words, that ghost has returned. We all saw it, Annabelle reportedly whispered. We all saw how broken she was, and we stayed quiet. The table fell silent. Those nearby knew the weight of such a confession. For decades, the palace spun tales of misunderstandings, of peace. But Annabelle's words cracked that lie. She admitted what many suspected. The firm knew Diana was suffering, and they did nothing. Insiders claim Camilla's rage exploded when she heard this leak. Because no matter how carefully Camilla shaped her public image, the graceful queen, the loving consort, Diana's ghost remained a threat. And now, with Annabelle's confession, that ghost has come roaring back. The question now hanging over the crown. If they let Diana suffer, what else have they hidden? The dinner that changed everything. It was meant to be a quiet dinner in the Cotswolds. Old friends, fine wine, no press, no risk. But this dinner would change the royal family forever. Over crystal glasses and soft laughter, Annabelle's truth slipped out, and someone was listening. She never lets things go, Annabelle said of Camilla. Everything, even kindness, is calculated. The room fell quiet. A guest shifted nervously. This was no drunken ramble. It was a quiet release. Years of silent watching poured into one sentence. Another guest leaned in. They heard her speak of Diana, of pain ignored, of compassion withheld, and they realized Annabelle was done protecting her sister. Within hours, whispers spread. By morning, courtiers knew. By evening, the palace scrambled. Camilla's face darkened in private rooms. Charles was reportedly shocked. The great secret, the hidden truth of the queen, had escaped, and the world was now watching. A sister's hidden guilt. For years, Annabelle Elliot carried a weight no one else could see. Not jewels, not titles, but guilt. Heavy, silent, and crushing. While the world blamed Charles and Camilla for Diana's suffering, Annabelle stood quietly in the background, watching, knowing, regretting. And now, that guilt has cracked open, spilling secrets the royal family never wanted revealed. Sources close to Annabelle say this moment was years in the making. Every time she saw Diana's face in the newspapers, smiling but hollow, the guilt tightened. Every time the public wept for the Princess of Wales, Annabelle remembered the palace corridors, where doors closed, where whispers ignored Diana's cries. She knew the truth behind the polished royal smiles, and it haunted her. At the infamous dinner, Annabelle did not speak with anger. Insiders claim she spoke with sorrow, like someone finally confessing a buried sin. "We failed her," she reportedly murmured about Diana. "We all did, especially Camilla."
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage.
That one line sent a chill across the room, because in that moment, the firm's greatest fear came true. Someone from within had admitted they left Diana to suffer. Why did Annabelle break her silence now? Some say age has softened her fear. Others whisper that Kate Middleton's grace and the innocence of her children reminded Annabelle of the past, of mistakes never to be repeated. But one truth is clear. Annabelle's guilt has become Buckingham's nightmare, and there is no turning back. Camilla's carefully built throne cracks. It took Camilla years, decades even, to reshape her image from royal mistress to queen consort. Every smile rehearsed, every public appearance calculated. The world was made to forget the scandals, the whispers, the betrayal of Diana. But now, with Annabelle's quiet confession, that carefully built throne has begun to crack. Palace insiders reveal that the queen consort was blindsided by the leak. Annabelle was the last person expected to betray her. A lifetime of silence shattered in a single night. Worse, what Annabelle allegedly revealed wasn't rumor or speculation. It was lived truth. It came from the only woman who witnessed Camilla's private world from the beginning. "She played the long game," Annabelle reportedly said, "always smiling, always watching, always wanting the crown." Guests at that Cotswolds dinner whispered that Annabelle sounded exhausted, as if carrying this secret had drained her for years. She spoke not with hatred, but with fear, because she knew exactly how far her sister had gone to secure her royal seat. Behind the royal pearls and quiet dignity, Annabelle hinted at a different Camilla, cold, controlling, unyielding. A woman who moved obstacles, friends, family, even Charles himself, out of her path toward power. And that included Diana. Annabelle's words confirmed what many royal watchers had long suspected but never proved. Camilla's rise was no accident. It was a plan. Now that plan is exposed. And with the public listening, the palace's control over Camilla's perfect image may finally be slipping away. The palace in panic. The walls of Buckingham Palace have never been so tense. Since Annabelle Elliot's words leaked, a quiet panic has spread behind the grand gates. Staff whisper nervously. Advisors hold emergency meetings. And Queen Camilla, once calm and controlled, has reportedly erupted in private fury. Because betrayal from an outsider can be denied, but betrayal from family cannot. Insiders confirm that Camilla demanded answers. Why did her own sister speak? Why now? What else had she said? Every phone call, every email, every whisper in the palace corridors became suspect. Trust, once the most valuable royal currency, was shattered. Some aides even fear that Annabelle holds letters or journals, proof of what she said, that could leak next. Documents that might destroy not just Camilla, but the monarchy's carefully managed history. Sources close to Charles say the king is deeply troubled. Torn between his loyalty to Camilla and his fear of public backlash, he has reportedly urged for calm, hoping the storm will pass, but the damage is done.
I know she will bring to the demands of her new role the steadfast devotion to duty on which I have come to rely so much.
The world has heard Annabelle's truth, and the press smells blood. Worse yet, William and Kate, silent but watchful, stand unshaken amid the chaos. Some royal watchers believe the future king and queen are quietly benefiting from this scandal.
As my heir, William now assumes the Scottish titles which have meant so much to me. he succeeds me as Duke of Cornwall.
Their image remains clean, untouched by old sins. But for Camilla, the storm is far from over. The palace panic has only begun, and no one knows what Annabelle will reveal next. The unspoken rivalry between sisters. Behind every royal smile, there are old family wounds, and for Camilla and Annabelle, those wounds have quietly bled for decades. They were born sisters, but shaped by rivalry. One craved power, the other peace. And now that old rivalry has surfaced for the world to see, threatening to tear apart the monarchy's fragile peace. From their earliest days in the Shand family, Camilla was the bold one, the leader, the rule breaker, the center of every room. Annabelle was the opposite, quiet, thoughtful, content in the background. But she saw it all. She watched as Camilla charmed noblemen, disarmed society women, and finally captured the heart of the future king. Annabelle stayed in the shadows, where secrets are stored, where the truth festers. That old tension never died. Sources close to the family claim that Annabelle felt used, forgotten, her loyalty repaid with cold distance. While Camilla ascended to the throne, Annabelle's world remained small and private, but no longer. Her sudden confession is not only truth, it is rebellion. The silent sister finally pushing back. Insiders whisper that Camilla always feared this, that her sister, with her quiet memory of every betrayal, could become the greatest threat of all. And now that fear is real. The public listens. The palace trembles. Because when sisters break their code of silence, the fallout is more dangerous than any tabloid scandal. It is personal, and it cuts straight to the crown. The shadow of Diana returns. No matter how many years pass, no matter how many crowns are worn, the ghost of Princess Diana refuses to fade. And now, thanks to Annabelle Elliot's shocking confession, that shadow has returned to haunt Queen Camilla, fiercer than ever, because Diana is not just a memory. She is the wound that never healed. Annabelle's words struck at the palace's deepest fear, the truth that Diana was abandoned. "We all saw her fall apart," Annabelle reportedly admitted. "We all turned away." In those few quiet words, decades of royal lies crumbled. The world suspected it. Now, someone inside the family had confirmed it. Camilla's carefully polished image, the patient Queen Consort, the misunderstood woman, shattered like glass.
Queen Elizabeth says she wants Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, to be known as Queen Consort.
For Camilla, this is a nightmare come alive. Every smile, every ribbon cutting, every soft royal speech, undone by a sister's whispered regret. Because Diana's story is not just the past, it is the standard by which every royal is judged. And Annabelle has reminded the world of the pain Camilla once helped cause. Inside the palace, aides are terrified. Camilla's fury is said to be volcanic, not just at her sister, but at the return of Diana's shadow. The Queen Consort worked for years to erase it. Now, it darkens every hallway, every newspaper front page, and the public watches, remembering the princess they lost, and the silence that let her suffer. The hidden war inside Buckingham. Behind the grand walls of Buckingham Palace, a silent war has begun. Not with armies or swords, but with words, fears, and shattered trust. Ever since Annabelle Elliot's secrets leaked into the world, the royal household has been gripped by suspicion. Eyes dart, doors close, allies turn distant. The very foundation of royal unity is shaking. Palace insiders reveal the growing tension between Charles, Camilla, and their courtiers. King Charles, stunned by his sister-in-law's betrayal, is torn. Sources say he urges calm, silence, control, but Camilla is said to be raging behind closed doors. Her trust has been broken, not by the media, not by critics, but by her own blood. Meanwhile, William and Kate remain untouched, observing from the sidelines. Some insiders whisper that they sense opportunity. For years, William watched his mother, Diana, suffer. Now, His late mother's quiet vengeance seems to rise from the grave through Annabelle's confession. And Kate, known for her grace and caution, stays distant from the turmoil, her public image shining brighter than ever. The Queen's personal staff reportedly scramble to manage the fallout. Press releases, private calls, desperate pleas to Annabelle to stay quiet. But it may be too late. The crack has opened. The palace's oldest weapon, silence, has failed. And the war inside Buckingham is no longer hidden. It's exposed for all the world to see. What happens next may reshape the monarchy forever. Camilla's fear of what comes next. Camilla, fear has never felt so real. All her life, she calculated every move, played every hand carefully, waited out every storm. But this time the storm came from within. And what terrifies her most is this. What else will Annabelle say? What secrets still wait in the shadows, ready to destroy everything? Palace sources reveal that Camilla has made urgent attempts to contact her sister, but with no response. Some insiders claim Annabelle has gone silent again, refusing calls, ignoring messages. Is she preparing to reveal more? Or has she said enough to shake the throne? The uncertainty is unbearable. For Camilla, this is no longer about scandal. It's about survival. Behind the palace curtains, whispers grow darker. Did Annabelle keep letters, journals, private recordings from years ago, perhaps of things the public must never hear? The fear grips every royal aide, every official. Because if proof of Camilla's old schemes, betrayals, or power plays emerges, no amount of palace spin can save her image. King Charles is said to be deeply worried, urging damage control, but the damage may already be too great. Once a sister breaks silence, the bond is shattered forever. And Camilla knows this truth better than anyone. Family betrayal is the deepest cut. If Annabelle speaks again, or worse, shows evidence, Queen Camilla's carefully built kingdom may collapse for good. William and Kate, the unexpected victors. As Queen Camilla's world shakes, two royals stand untouched by the storm, Prince William and Princess Kate. In the shadows of this unfolding royal crisis, their star quietly rises. The British public, weary of scandal and betrayal, now looks to them for stability, grace, and hope. Annabelle's shocking revelations may have shattered Camilla's image, but they have strengthened William and Kate's. Insiders say the future king and queen remain calm, measured, dignified. They do not comment. They do not rush. But their silence says more than words ever could. In every public appearance, they appear united, smiling gently, holding their children close. It is the picture of the monarchy the public craves, untouched by Camilla's past, unburdened by Diana's suffering. For William, the irony is bitter. His mother's pain, long ignored by the palace, now returns to tear down the very woman who replaced her. And Kate, always careful, always composed, sees the crown's future gently sliding into their hands. Annabelle's confession has cleared the path. Royal commentators whisper that the public's faith is shifting. Camilla's legacy crumbles while William and Kate's brightens. Crowds cheer louder for them. Papers print their smiles more boldly. The throne no longer seems safe for Charles and Camilla. In quiet corridors, some advisors even hint, perhaps the time of transition is closer than anyone thought. And through it all, Annabelle's words hang heavy in the air. Words that changed the royal balance forever. The crown's silent collapse. The British crown was built on more than gold and jewels. It was built on silence, on secrets kept, mistakes buried, betrayals hidden behind smiles. But now, that silence is broken. And the cracks are growing wider by the day. Because when family turns against family, even the oldest throne in Europe begins to shake. Annabelle Elliot's whispered truth was small, a quiet sentence, spoken in confidence. But it escaped, and it spread like wildfire through Buckingham Palace, across Britain, and into the world's headlines. Her words reminded everyone of what the firm wanted forgotten. Diana's tears, Camilla's ambition, the ruthless rise to power. Camilla's court fights desperately to regain control. Statements are drafted, rumors denied. But it's useless. The damage is done. The public has seen through the curtain, and they do not like what they see. Camilla's reign, so carefully built, is now questioned. Her legacy, once repaired, is breaking apart. King Charles grows quiet, tired, unsure. William and Kate rise, unshaken, waiting for their turn. And Annabelle, the sister who said nothing for so long, has changed history with a single truth. What happens next? No one knows, but the lesson is clear. In the royal family, no secret stays buried forever. The silence has broken, the crown trembles, and the world watches, breath held for the final fall. The silence that changed everything. And so, the palace stands quiet, but not with peace. The air is heavy with unspoken truths, secrets long buried now drifting into the light. Annabelle Elliot's voice broke more than silence. It fractured the image of a queen, cracked the foundation of a carefully built reign. As Camilla reels and the monarchy trembles, the world watches, wondering, what will come next? Can trust ever be rebuilt when betrayal comes from blood? Or is this the beginning of the monarchy's slow, unstoppable unraveling? One truth remains certain: no crown is safe when silence dies.